a political revolution is coming. It's going to be bigger than an earthquake. And I think it will finally smash the UK uni-party, which desperately needs to happen. New reporting today that Rupert Murdoch is open to backing Nigel Farage and Reform UK. Now, yes, Murdoch is a dying MSM dinosaur, and The Sun and The Times have far less influence than they used to. At the same time, getting support from the establishment is exactly what Nigel Farage wants. Now, this revelation has emerged in a new article for The Spectator today by Tim Shipman, who until very recently was working for Rupert Murdoch as the political editor of the Sunday Times. So this guy knows how it works. I mean, I will also just say, I know from my personal experience working at News UK and also knowing Nigel Farage, that Murdoch does personally enjoy Farage's company. They will always go for dinner when he is in London. But I also know that the editor of The Sun is a lefty, and she backed Starmer at the last election. I mean, we should never forget that, by the way. We've got that front page, that endorsement of Labour, which I think The Sun should be shamed by, actually, and I think no readers should stick by them as a result. Time for a new manager, they said. How's that working out for you? A year in, Victoria Newton and The Sun. If you're enjoying what we're doing here on Outspoken, please consider joining our thriving community over on Substack, www.outspoken.live. You can sign up completely for free, but Substack is so important to me. It is a free speech platform. It protects me from big tech cancellation. Plus, you get to communicate directly with me. Head on over www.outspoken.live, enter your email address, and sign up today. But here is the reporting in The Spectator today, where Tim Shipman writes, a third answer might once have been media scrutiny by the centre-right press, whose loyalties tend to lie with the Tories. In 2019, the Daily Mail harangued Farage to back Boris Johnson to save Brexit. Yet Farage met senior media figures for peace talks, and coverage is now much friendlier. Farage, hot-footing it from Royal Ascot, turned up wearing Union Jack shoes at the summer party held by News UK, which owns The Sun, The Times and The Sunday Times, and also dined recently with Victoria Newton, The Sun's editor. Reform sources say that Rupert Murdoch has always liked Nigel because they are both disruptors. Paper insiders say Murdoch is attracted to backing Reform, though his son Lachlan, the titular head of the company, is both less interested in British politics and less convinced by Farage. Newton apparently urged Farage to show that he is taking preparations for government seriously. Nigel doesn't need to be told these things, a close ally notes. So, to my superstar panel, Nick Buckley and Kane Blackwell. Nick, how do you think this potential endorsement from Murdoch will actually change things? Like, doesn't matter at all anymore. Does anyone give a damn if The Sun and The Times are positive about Reform UK and Nigel Farage? Because my concern is that this is actually just going to push Farage even further to the centre, because he's constantly worried about what the newspapers are going to say. And actually, the newspapers are not what is setting the agenda anymore.
Oh, completely agree. I would say having the endorsement of The Sun and The Times is actually a negative today in our political landscape. Farage should be taking more advice from Trump, rejecting all the mainstream media, calling them out, not wanting to do with any of them, because they're the old. They're the old. He needs to be trying to tap into the new, and the new don't listen to mainstream media. Hence why I said before, Reform are trying to develop themselves into the party we needed 2-3 decades ago. They're outdated if they think they're going to be a new version of the Tory party, a new version of the Labour Party, and we need Murdoch to endorse us, and that's how we're going to win. And let's say he's correct. Let's say that is what he needs to win. Well, all that leads to is a different version of the uni-party, a different version of, we can't do this, it's going to upset Murdoch. We can't do this, it might upset the bankers. We can't do that, it'll upset the unions. He should be going into power going, I'm going to upset everybody because all of you have failed over 50 years. I'm going to turn these tables upside down and I'm going to press the reset button, and none of you are going to like it apart from the people. The average working person is going to like what I do because I'm going to make it fairer for everybody. And that's what I think he needs to be doing, not trying to gain favors with the elite, the powerful, the establishment.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. I guess, Kane, where this is a real blow, though, is your party and Kemi Badenoch, who's had a disastrous week, Kane. Front cover of the New Statesman, a headline, brutal headline, Kemi Badenoch isn't working. But there was a line within this article which I think really shocked me, but I know it's true. I know it's true because Tories say it all the time, and deep down you'll know it's true too. One prominent backbencher said that Tory MPs spent a lot of time inside a fever dream, lazily speculating about whether Farage might save them by dying before the next election. And Kane, it's a horrible thing to say. Of course, Nigel Farage, by all accounts, is in good health, but genuinely, I hear Tories say this all the time. And look, I think there is an argument in terms of, yes, Farage is running a bit of a one-man band, and if he were to cark it, which we obviously hope doesn't happen, then all bets would be off. But I mean, come on, it's a desperate strategy, isn't it? It's a desperate strategy thinking, oh, Farage might die and then we're back in with a shot.
It's complacency, Dan, and it's what the Conservative Party has been running on for years, quite honestly, and that's what frustrates me, and that's why I've, always been quite a disruptor in the Conservative Party. I've never been sort of part of the establishment, and I've always wanted to try and change things. But it does feel that there isn't that sort of energy to do that, which does frustrate me, because I think after that general election, that crushing defeat, we all realized that we had to do something completely different. Now, I didn't back Kemi. I was, obviously on Pretty's team, and, I wanted us to do some great things. I think we could have done, but that's not to be. So what really should have happened is what Kemi should have done over the last 9 months was actually have a whole reset, a whole rebrand of the Conservative Party, change the logo, bring in new people and actually shake it up and show
She's been awful. She's been totally hopeless. She's been awful. But I do think it's probably too late. This piece, though, is totally bizarre. Totally bizarre. So there's one line in it, right, where it says the briefings against her question her Britishness. They pick up on her habit of drinking warm Coke Zeros, putting 4 sugars in her tea, buttering every item on her English breakfasts apart from toast, condemning sandwiches as not real food. In their view, they are small but telling indicators that she does not belong in Britain. The disloyalty is astonishing, said a former staff member. Now, look, this may not be the most important point in all of this, but I'm like, what's she buttering? What, she's buttering the hash browns? She's buttering the bacon? I didn't get that. Did you get that, Nick? But first, as I've entered my 40s, aging has become ever-present in my life. My body doesn't back up the way it used to, and I've found that it's far easier to get injured when trying to work out, far harder to recover too. But I believe one of the best aging breakthroughs of the last decade is qualia senolytic, and I'm going to explain why. Senolytics are a science field revolutionizing human aging. A big culprit behind that middle-aged feeling can be so-called zombie cells that linger in your body after their useful function, wasting your energy and resources. Now, those zombie cells can lead to less energy, slower workout recovery, joint discomfort, and basically feeling old. Now, qualia senolytic is a groundbreaking, clinically tested supplement with 9 vegan plant-derived compounds that help your body naturally eliminate these zombie cells, helping you feel years younger in just months. But here's what I absolutely love about this product. You take it just 2 days a month, helping your body naturally eliminate zombie cells to age better at the cellular level. Now, since taking qualia senolytic, I've felt like I've turned back the clock. I have higher energy, less soreness after exercise, and a big boost in productivity too. That all equals feeling so much better. So experience the science of feeling younger by going to qualialife.com/Dan for up to 50% off your purchase. Use the code DAN, that's DAN, for an additional 15%. So that's QUALIA, life, qualia.com/Dan for an extra 15% off your purchase. Your older self will thank you. And by the way, thanks to Qualia for sponsoring this episode. Now, let's get back to it.
I've no idea. I mean, there was a lot in that line there. You don't butter anything on your English breakfast apart from toast. Again, this is just silliness. Who cares how she eats her breakfast? Who cares?
Yeah,
And it's an important point about is she British or not? That's an important point. That's worth debating. But how she eats her food and drinks her Coke is entirely up to her.
Yeah, no, it is. But huge shake up on the left too. And again, I'm just like, bring it on, because the uni-party has to be smashed. So today, this botched launch, they can't get it right though. I mean, this is going to be quite funny because Politics Joe posted, Jeremy Corbyn and Zara Sultana have made a joint statement on their foundation of their new political party named Your Party. I think they should name the party Fruit and Nut, by the way. But Zara Sultana replied to that saying, it's not called Your Party. And Maya Tusi responded saying, this is a shit show already. I mean, it is quite mad that they would launch the party having already had one failed botch launch, and they would literally put it up. Because if you look at Jeremy Corbyn's post on X, he said, it's time for a new kind of political party, one that belongs to you. Sign up at yourparty.uk and then say, well, it's not called Your Party. Well, get the name, get the name sorted before you announce this. They are a total mess. I mean, I'd been told that the name that was top of the list, Kane, was Hope UK, but actually they were worried that people were just going to say, actually, you're hopeless UK, which I've already started doing. Then the other talk is that it could be called the Real Change Party, and Corbyn did sign off his note saying real change is coming. But look, there is a serious point to this. Whatever the name is, Kane, this is a disaster for Slippery Starmer, because it is going to seriously split the Labour vote. This is arguably the most significant political story of the year, actually, because like it or not, and I think he's a revolting man, and I think she's even worse, but they have a base. And that base, I reckon, could get to 20%.
Yeah, I mean, they do have a base, and you're right in that sense that this is an absolute, to quote Maya, a shit show, and the idea that why wouldn't you just call a press conference and explain it properly, to the media, to everyone, and you can actually engage people and say, oh yeah, it's up to you to decide the name, blah 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 blah. Okay, that would have got. I mean, it's a bit stupid, but it would have got people a bit more interested, and if they'd done it properly. But it does. I mean, it doesn't fare well for them if this is how it's going to work. But there are dogmatic people on the left who hate Starmer and hate what the Labour Party have become and love Jeremy Corbyn and Zara Sultana, and they will vote for them regardless of how crap they are. So they will have a base and they will be damaging to the Labour Party, and I am pleased about that but this is where the right needs to get its act together, and people, the egos on the right need to stop sort of saying, oh, I'm this, I'm better than that person, blah, 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 blah. We need to come together and actually save this country from the socialists that are trying to destroy it. And it is so imperative. We have a chance. We have a chance at the next general election. We cannot fuck it up.
But see, Nick, I think we've got to smash the uni-party.
Absolutely. First of all, Your Party. I actually like it as a name. I can see socialists loving that, Your Party, because the Labour Party wasn't Your Party, was it? This is Your Party. So I like the name.
Yes, exactly. I think I actually don't think it's a terrible name, but it's very weird that they so immediately backed away from it. I think that's what's turned this into a shit show.
And that's because they're idiots.
Yeah.
So I like the name, but they're idiots. They're always going to be idiots. And the party they run will be full of idiots. But that's a great thing, because first of all, it damages Labour. But what it also does is the people who are part of, let's call them Your Party, and if they get MPs, at least then we know what they're about. Because the Labour Party is full of nutcases, Islamists, communists, and they're protected over this sheen of we're here for the working class. This party won't be like that. We'll see who those people are. We'll see their.
This is the first cousin marriage party. It's the first cousin marriage party.
Exactly. But we'll get to see that. And
yeah,
people
exactly.
how stupid and how anti-patriotic these
You
people
are so right, Nick, because what happened right before the last election? People like me were saying Starmer is an extremist, okay? And he is. I mean, he really is. But he was an extremist dressed in moderate clothing. What has happened since this government has come in? They are extreme. They are extreme on so many levels. They're bankrupting us because they won't do welfare reform. They have made abortion legal up until the moment of birth. Assisted dying, legal. This is an extreme government. But actually, your party... Fruit and Nut Party is going to be even more extreme. And I totally agree. I think the good thing is we will see it in plain sight. And actually what it will mean too is Labour will move further to the left. And as I have been predicting for many months, and I know many of you think I'm crazy, at the next election, it will be Prime Minister Angela Rayner going head to head with Corbyn and Farage, because Labour is going to feel that its only solution, I believe, is to move to the left. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.